Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Chats with Children. I hope you're safe and well. Today, I've not got one, but two guests to talk about a show I haven't had a chance to be at in years because of COVID, but it's finally I get a chance to go back to Philly for the first time since 2019, but the first time to the show since 2020, because I'm talking about Pittcon. Yes, Pittcon is back. It's in person, and it will be in Philadelphia, running from the 18th to 23rd of March at the Pennsylvania Conference Center. And I'm delighted to be joined by Jonell Kerkhoff, who is the president of Pittcon, and Rocco, I'm going to get this wrong, Rocco, Pacella. Pacella. Sorry, we even practiced this before and I still got it wrong. Rocco Pacella, who's the marketing manager for Pittcon. So there you go. You should see these aren't very well scripted, these interviews. I can tell you that now. But anyway, so I'm delighted to join by Jonell and Rocco to talk about Pittcon and preview what people can expect to see if they are in Pennsylvania Conference Center on March the 18th and 23rd. So Jonell, Rocco, it's lovely to see you both. How are you, first of all?
Very good. It's nice to see you too, Rizwan.
Great. Well, it's
Glad
good to see
be
you
here with you today.
Yeah, and the reason Rocco's not saying anything is that we've got a bit of echo, so we're waiting for one person to mute and the other person to unmute so they can both talk. But Rocco, I can tell by his smiling, is happy to be here as well.
Definitely.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. All right. So first question, though, for people who are not familiar with Pittcon, Jonell, maybe you want to start with this. Can you give me a quick overview of Pittcon? What's the rationale for it starting in the first place? And what's its aim, visions, and target audience?
Absolutely. So this is going to be our 74th Pittcon year, if you can believe it. Pittcon was started in the early 1940s by the two volunteer scientific societies, the Pittsburgh Spectroscopy Society and the Pittsburgh Society for Analytical Chemists. So we have been doing this. There's been a group of nonprofit volunteers who've been working on this, as well as a full-time staff with people like Rocco and others manning the office and helping out throughout the year. And what is really nice about Pittcon is it began as a forum for scientists to get together in the Pittsburgh area. You know, there was a lot of companies here working on steel and aluminum and all kinds of different products, and they would get together to discuss their ideas and thoughts, to talk about how they could collaborate or learn from each other. So this is how Pittcon began, and it quickly grew in size. As you know, in the 80s and 90s, it was over 30,000 people attending this conference, primarily because exhibitors used it to launch some of their new shows. And the Pittcon has been a forum for scientists to share their ideas and research for a number of years. And that's really the premise of the whole conference. It is an international conference and exposition focusing on laboratory sciences and analytical chemistry. It's for the people that are doing that kind of work. They purchase lab equipment, they use lab equipment, they manage labs, they develop methodologies, applications, instrumentation, quality control programs, and they also perform research into new methods and instrumentation and applications. So our mission is to actually advance and enrich laboratory sciences and analytical chemistry, enabling attendees and exhibitors to engage, connect, and collaborate.
All right. Now, Rocco, you've got anything to add to that?
I do. There's another aspect to our mission that I think not many people know from our 74-year history so far, and that is everything that we do is then given back to the laboratory science community or fostering science education within our community or the communities where, say, we're being hosted for the year. So in the end, well over 90%, I'm saying possibly even over 100% of our net annual profit goes to science awards, science grants, K through 12 education, college lab improvements, university lab improvements, and things of the like. So really we're starting to see that our attendees and our exhibitors have always valued this aspect. But we've been so humble in the past that we've never really put it out there that we do all this. So over the past few years, they've said, you should tell people about this. You know, this really connects with people. And we can get into that later and the how that relates to how we promote ourselves, but really it's a major aspect of what we do. I'd say it's sort of the end result of our mission. We have this larger ideal of advancing scientific endeavor. What does that mean? Well, it means what we do in our conference, what we do on our exposition, what we bring together there, what comes out of that, but then taking that further, how we use this to advance what we are, who we are, what we represent, both within the professional community and we'll say the future community of laboratory science.
Right. Okay. Well, great. Thanks for telling me that, Rocco. And I did know that, but I'm glad you shared it with the viewers as well, so they get to know that as well. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Now, I know obviously because of the pandemic, and in fact, Rocco and I, you were there in Chicago for, as I say, the last in-person one. And then you and I both know that the world stopped the week after Pittcon. Literally everything went into lockdown, basically, at that time. So obviously in 21, you did it as a virtual exhibition. And I remember attending virtually the event. But last year, you made the decision to not run it at all, which actually, from a show perspective, I think is very brave when it's an annual show, not to do it at all in any shape or form. And I know it's very, very difficult, having worked in events myself, that, out of sight is out of mind in some respects. You didn't do the show last year. You didn't really do, I know you did communication in terms of some aspects of the conference and so on, but you didn't have the exhibition. So, and now you're doing it this year. What has been the impact from your perspective in terms of not having the show, whether virtually or live last year, in terms of the impact this year? And what would you say to people who say, well, actually, Pittcon didn't happen last year. It's a smaller event this year. So is it even relevant anymore to us to be both as an attendee and as an exhibitor? So who's going to answer that first? Jonell, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, then I'll start, and then Rocco can add on. So first of all, we're excited to be back in Philadelphia this year. Not only do we have a large number of states and in the surrounding greater Philadelphia area, but we're also national as well as international. We've got a lot of international people coming this year. And what's intriguing is that we've had to do some rebuilding, right? We've had to set in place a business plan for how do we rebuild? How do we get the attendees back? How do we get the exhibitors back? How do we make it relevant for them to want to attend? And I think you'll find that we have, just in the bioanalytics, life sciences, and pharma area, got over 500 presentations. We've got top-notch scientists from all over the world coming to lead the symposia and provide technical talks. We're very excited about that. I can give you a list of some of those if you're interested. But the bio, life sciences, bioanalytics, and pharma are our biggest area of focus for Philadelphia.
Right. Okay. And Rocco, do you want to add to that?
Technical difficulties. Yeah, not recognizing this, we'll say this time off, this respite from Pittcon, is something that could have very well hindered our promotional outreach. Would be not the right call, would have not been the right call. So we head into this recognizing very much, its impact. And obviously, with any organization, how we get through those tough times is proof of our mettle. And I think that we used it appropriately, in the face of this difficult time for everyone. I mean, in the end, the call to not have Pittcon 2022 was simply made for the safety of our community, our attendees, our exhibitors, our participants. They were reaching out to us in the face of what was then the Omicron variant.
Sure. And
saying, we can't go. Companies were concerned that they wouldn't be able to send people. And, we had to make what we felt at the time was the right call. But did we use this time to languish? We didn't. We used this time to begin a change that we are implementing this year at Pittcon 2023, which is why we're so excited, A, to be back, B, because this is the first installment, this is the first manifestation, physical manifestation, where before it was virtual. Now it's the first physical manifestation of this change. What you're going to see is what you've already started to see, which is the look of Pittcon changing. What we could do was adapt our brand, the start of that, to reflect more of what our audience, our marketplace wants to see and values. And visually, that's there. You've seen the new logo. We've been pushing that out. Of course, we see some of that old logo somewhere. People have it, but it's pushed out. It's, you know, a new tagline. It's a new culture of Pittcon, or more accurately, a new tone of Pittcon, which we're excited to show people that are at Pittcon this year in Philadelphia. You'll see it because I'll see you there. And that's what we use this time to do. So again, not a time to languish, a time to adapt. Where we were forced to not have Pittcon, we could have let it break us, but we didn't. We have a great group of volunteers, our committee that is within, that works within, that has worked within, that is consistently involved within the laboratory science world, that we rely upon to say, hey, this is what our people are saying. This is what our exhibitors are saying, attendees, participants, the people that present, the high-level researchers that present at our conference are saying this. Here's what we want to do. And again, if I can just whittle it down to one soundbite, we did it. Now it's the attendees, our media, our partners, our exhibitors, our attendees, our participants. Now is the time that they get to see this. This is why we're excited to come back.
All right. So let me ask you then, because I mean, that's a really good point you made. So for a viewer who's sitting here thinking, okay, that's great. How has the tone changed? So what is the tone now compared to what it was? And how is it different? And what can people expect to see, which is different this year in person to what it was? Maybe not 2020, because 2020 was an odd year anyway, because as we said, the pandemic was in its infancy and so, but say 2019 Pittcon. So what can we expect to see, which is different this time around compared to what people are used to at Pittcon? Jonell, do you want to answer that?
Sure, I'll start. I think if you just go in our technical program and look at the quality of the talks and the awards, you're going to see a lot of new developments. Right. Which is very critical to the industry at large and to the research labs. Pittcon, though, offers the enormous advantage of being a one-stop shopping conference. Okay, we have a large conference. It has the top quality technical talks. So we talked yesterday a little bit about bioanalytics, life science, and pharma. Those are key. We've got other areas as well. But it enables attendees not only to go to some of these talks, attend some of these short courses, but then to interact with the instructors and other colleagues. So the collaboration is extremely valuable. And in addition to the conference, which is program short coursing and network, we have the exposition hall and all the exhibitors that they can see. And we have some top names there as well. Right. Okay. Rocco, I know you're waiting to jump in there. So what would you like to add to what Jonell just said?
The tone would be, aside from the obvious, which is face-to-face and in person, the primary tone is connection and collaboration. And that is something that, the big change is that we listened. And when you boil it down, I've said whittle it down before in this interview, so I'll switch it up. When you boil it down to its foundation, what people tell us is the biggest benefit of Pittcon is connection and collaboration in all forms, whether that's with business to business, consumer to business, business to consumer, researcher to researcher, employer to employee, or future employer to future employee. these connections are what matter. Collaboration, the collaborative element of it, again, it's different in the virtual. You know, it's different in the virtual, and we recognize that. But when we just saw all of these responses to surveys that we've collected over the year, connection and collaboration, that is the tone of it now. That's something where we've recognized without having a Pittcon in person for 2 years. And that's the big change. So there will be things that you see that are meant to foster that are meant to, you know, provide the environment, the atmosphere that people have been missing for 2 years, but that people have been engaging with at Pittcon for 74 years, 73 years prior to this one.
Right. Okay. So let me ask you then, I mean, as you said, you're hoping to be bigger and better this year in terms of the experience. In terms of the delegates then, and, you know, you've been a long, long time, you've got a lot of his legacy as an event. So what makes a Pittcon delegate different to a delegate attending the vast number of other shows? I mean, you know, I do an exhibition list every month. I update it, and there are 320 events on there running, and I'm sure I'm missing out about 50 to 100 easily on that list, right? So what makes one Pittcon's delegates unique, and why they want to come back, and what makes Pittcon unique compared to the the plethora, if you like, of life science and pharma shows, some of them very big now, and obviously a lot of them growing, both in the States and you know, in Europe as well. Who would like to take that? Rocco, you're going to go for it, right?
I think that what makes our delegates, attendees, conferees, there's so many words for them, the difference is reflected in our tagline, which the tagline is a reflection of our audience, meant to connect with them, but meant to connect with future audiences, is leading in the lab. And these are leaders in the lab. These are leaders in their research. These are leaders in the companies that make the instrumentation, software, whatever they're using. So that leadership is really transparent throughout the lecture halls, the exposition floor, the hallways as people are walking, even the interactions that are happening outside of Pittcon during Pittcon conference week. These are people with purchasing power for the exhibitors. These are people with decision-making power for, well, basically everyone else, the exhibitors, the attendees. These are the people that are not only the owners of whatever they're in, these are the principal investigators. These are the people that are presenting their research, which is, in this realm, the most advanced stuff out there. And therein lies the difference. What we are is not a lot of the shows that you see, and this is great, you know, these are shows that we attend, focus on a certain element, pun intended. They focus on a certain cannabis being one of them, energy being another one. The list goes on. We bring it all together, and that's the major difference of Pittcon. That's been the major difference for Pittcon since decades ago. Because we have had other shows, other conferences that do focus on this. But again, what it boils down to is connection and collaboration. We've heard so many times, and I have so much, you know, written evidence of this, that someone from one sector, I'll say, I use cannabis all the time because it's such a burgeoning sector right now, has been for a while. Someone from one industry, cannabis, could interact with someone that they would never have the chance of interacting with before, say within energy. And Jonell can explain this much better than I can because of her technical background, but it's those exchanges that yield both breakthroughs in research and collaborative opportunities that might never have happened before. This is, again, this connection, collaboration is the essence of Pittcon, and therefore is the difference. But going back to that, and I'll stop after this, the tagline leading in the lab is a reflection of us. It's a reflection of the people who attend and are involved with Pittcon either as exhibitors, attendees, or participants, presenters, that is. And it's a reflection of the people who be coming to Pittcon. Pittcon is what people that are leading in the lab know. It is what they know. If you know Pittcon, then you are a leader in the lab. If you want to become a leader in the lab, then on is where you want to be because of simply the opportunity there to connect and collaborate.
Right. Jonell, do you want to add anything to what Rocco's just said?
I just confirm what he's saying about collaboration being so key. We've had so many people tell us that they're glad we're back. They're glad we're going to have a live conference that they can, come to and really enjoy the interaction and see the wide range of conference to exposition.
Brilliant. Okay. So in terms of the delegates then, because you've still got a couple of weeks until the actual show goes live, how are the delegates looking compared to the last Pittcon? And obviously that's a bit difficult to compare because that was a bit quieter than normal because of the pandemic. And what numbers can you expect this year? And what about the qualities?
What is intriguing about this is if you look at Pittcon in 2019 in Philadelphia, they had about 30% more, 30 to 40% more of their attendees and registrants sign on as 1 to 2 day drive-ins. So we're looking at 8,000, 9,000 as our target for where we want to be.
Right, that's great. And in terms of this year's Pittcon, what can people expect to see if they come?
People can see a wide range of exhibitors. We've got quite a few on the floor. We've got wonderful talks, specifically in the different tracks that we have, the bioanalytics, life sciences, pharma, forensics, cannabis, and many, many others, environment and energy. So, and also material science. So please come and enjoy yourself and enjoy our show. Make sure you get out to the floor to see the exhibitors, make your list, go and see the exhibitors you want to see, and go to the talks you want to see and look for your friends. Come to our welcome mixer that we're having Sunday night and our Pittcon party, and just spend some time just collaborating and talking to one another.
All right. Rocco, do you want to talk about any specific highlights that people can expect to see on the exhibition floor?
Sure. The big thing that comes to mind is people can see each other finally face to face, where they haven't been able to do that for 2 years. So, I speak to a lot of people, and it always ends. And I know that you and I have said that, hey, it's going to be great to see you again. In person, it's going to be great to shake your hand or, have a meeting or whatever, talk about stuff, catch up, whatever. So they're going to see each other. That's the big difference. Another thing that is majorly different this year is what we've been pushing through is the Pittcon LabSci app. This is so efficient. Even someone like me who gets frustrated with technology was able to get in there and not ask questions and just use it to a point where it's an agenda builder. It is a exposition floor navigator, but more so it's a connection creator.
You're using Swapcard, aren't you? So Swapcard, they use Swapcard, which is a very good, which is a great platform. It's a great platform.
Yeah, you recognized it. So it is a terrific platform. Yes, there's been a lot of work into it. Very much so. A lot of input from our staff, our volunteer committee, the people that are our stakeholders, which are attendees, presenters, and exhibitors. We've asked for input, and it is great. I'm excited about it. But again, what I'm more excited about it, the difference is that people can see each other finally again at Pittcon. The world of laboratory science coming together at Pittcon, just phenomenal. I might not sleep between now and next Friday when I arrive in Philadelphia to actually start setting up for Pittcon. So very excited about that.
All right, cool. Well, look, last question for both of you. You can both take a turn doing this. If someone has not registered for Pittcon yet, why should they register? Jonell, do you want to start? And I'll give Rocco the last word.
Yes, I would absolutely tell them if they have anything to do with lab sciences and analytical chemistry at all, and they want to come to a show where they can see a number of great exhibitors and go and talk to them about their equipment, look at our program, look at our short courses, identify things that they can go to and look, see if their friends are coming. Text them, get on our app and use it and see what exciting things they're going to see. We've got 12 award winners. We've got Waters Symposia. We got the Coulter Lecture. We've got a lot of things for them to participate in, and we really would love to have them and look forward to seeing everybody at the show.
Right. Rocco, you get the very, very last word.
It's how do I summarize it all? Why should they come to Pittcon? Well, I mean, they're going to be able to see each other, but more so, they're going to be able to meet and interact with the highest level of what is happening in the laboratory science world. And I stress the word world because Pittcon is an international conference. It has been for so many decades. It is going to continue to be. I can tell you that from the marketing side of things, being able to see where we interact, where we engage, truly international. It's amazing. I know that what people who are maybe on the fence about coming will value is the opportunity that is inherent throughout all of Pittcon. It might be the chance meeting, meeting with a future collaborator, meeting with a future boss, meeting with a future employee, meeting with a future partner, keeping relations with current collaborators or current partners or vendors that you have. It's so much opportunity. There's a lot of excitement for what Pittcon is. There's even more excitement for the fact that we haven't had an in-person Pittcon for 2 years. And I think those are the reasons that people would enjoy it. I mean, we get to interact with each other again. The world of laboratory science gets to come together in person again to interact and engage with both each other, with not both, but with each other, with the research, the cutting edge most advanced research out there within this realm throughout 8 different areas of focus, multiple different methodologies. And they also get to interact with the instrumentation, the software that is helping to advance the world of laboratory science, the research that's out there that might even provide the very breakthrough, or as we like to say in the marketing, the aha moment that takes one's work to that next level that they need to be, that surmounts that problem or that issue that they may have had in their research. Terrific. You know, it's just the major opportunity that Pittcon is. I will tell you from the marketing standpoint, it's a very easy thing to promote because it's all right there. And it's right. All we have to do is show it, and all we have to do is hope that people take up the opportunity to come experience it for themselves.
Absolutely. Yes.
Right. Okay. See, look, even though your sound is off, Jonell, we can hear you, but you're facing each other. See, it's really easy. Right. So you shouldn't have had to keep putting the mic in mute on. You could both carry on talking. But but on that note, then I will say thank you very much for taking time to talk to me and answering, well, not always easy questions when you're getting asked about questions like why you haven't done the show and so on. So thank you for answering those questions, honestly. I wish you lots of success on the build up. This is the trickiest bit, the 2 weeks leading up to the show, to make sure everything is all right, and particularly during the build up of the exhibition as well, making sure everyone's happy. But it's nothing more satisfying, as I say, when you go to an exhibition floor and see all the carpets. I can't remember the States where the other carpets are not. In the Europe, we have carpets laid down and shell screens, is a bit different. But when the show floor is ready and clean and everybody's coming in ready outside, then it's always a great feeling to think that you've done all that
exciting.
work.
Yes.
You've done all that work to get that ready in the first place. So, and the culmination of all your hard work. So good luck with the build up.
Thank you very much.
I look forward to seeing you in person on the Monday. Well, after Mother's Day, obviously. So I'll see you on the Monday, and hopefully you'll have a fantastic Saturday and Sunday before then anyway, with the talks and that you've got going. I look forward to seeing you in person then. So viewers, if you haven't signed up for Pittcon yet, click on the link above the video, find out more about the agenda and what's going on, look at the exhibitors, and sign up if you haven't done so. If you're going, then here hopefully was a nice little sneak preview for you to get you excited for what you're looking forward to. So Jonell, Rocco, thank you very much. It's great to see you both.
Thank you.
I will hopefully see you in Philly on the 20th. And until then, everybody, until next time, as always, stay well and stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.